Today we are playing the Night Hunter. I found this game at Target, I think it was, and obviously I really wanted to play it, so y'all girl had to. Alright, let's see here. I tried to mirror the image, but it was either I could vertically flip it and get it to work, or I could mirror it, and I'll be honest, I'd rather have it flipped, so I could have the camera, like, over here, instead of, like, right here, so. Alright. Dear agents, in this evidence box, you will find the case of the Night Hunter. Captain Snow is the lead on this case. It is up to you to help review new evidence. Enclosed is your field guide to aid you in your investigation. You will refer to this field guide throughout your work. It contains animal bite mark information, chemical codes for field toxin tests, fingerprint collection methods, and other key information for your fieldwork. Also included is your government-issued US F907 light device that you will find critical for the following: revealing latent fingerprints that may be present on evidence handled directly by case suspects, developing and displaying results of field toxin tests, aiding and looking for other forensic information on photos and other documents. Please make sure to keep your field guide and light device available at all times as you investigate the Night Hunter. Important. Leave each chapter in the box until you have completed all the objectives of the previous chapter. In order to validate your findings at each step of the investigation and to prove additional information to help you, we have provided you access to the Bureau's confidential portal at thenighthunter.com. The portal will also give you access to witness statements and case tips. You can easily access the portal anytime during the game with the following QR code. Just point or follow the link to the Night Hunter, the Bureau. Okay. You will set that in this box over here. For agents. Herbivore, carnivore. Oh, bite marks. Common bite mark impressions. Okay. Alright, and then get this out. Chapter 1. And then that's chapter 2. Okay. So we will start with chapter 1. Agents. I am Captain Snow, Director of the Bureau. Our agency is tasked with the investigation of criminal cases earmarked as exceeding the resources of state and federal law enforcement. You have been granted special authorization to assist the Bureau on a crucial assignment. I am providing you with a field guide. Keep this on your person at all times to aid you in your mission. 25 years ago, 3 similar murders occurred across the United States at the time. The San Diego Police Department apprehended a serial killer self-titled the Night Hunter. Each murder was committed according to the killer's unique modus operandi and followed by letters to local police departments and news outlets, taunting law enforcement for failing to catch him. Attached, you will find short briefs to catch you up on these cases. A year after the murders took place, Bill Mendax voluntarily surrendered himself to law enforcement officers in June of 1996. He provided several accurate and disturbing details regarding the murders that were never disclosed to the public. This evidence, along with his confession, provided to be more than enough to charge and convict Mendax with 3 counts of murder in the first degree. Mendax is currently serving 3 consecutive life sentences at the Lompoc Federal Penitentiary. An unsettling case in Little Rock, Arkansas was recently brought to the Bureau's attention. The crime scene is consistent with the aforementioned murders from 25 years ago. If this is a copycat killer, they have intimate knowledge of the Night Hunter's methods that are not least to the public, namely an injection site on the neck of each victim. We need to determine if Mendax has been in communication with anyone from the outside world while incarcerated, or if the wrong man is behind bars. I've enclosed the file on the recent murder in Little Rock for your review. We need to know if there is a link between the previous murder and this new one. Scrutinize the details of these reports and determine if a possible connection to the Night Hunter killings exists. Objective 1.1. Determine exactly what was used to kill Caroline Parker. Welcome to the Bureau's confidential portal. Here you will be able to validate your findings of each objective. Here you will also find witness statements and communications from Captain Snow. Do not visit the next chapter in your bureau. The following briefs are summaries based on police reports of the murders attributed to the Night Hunter. Bill Mendax confessed to the murders, and all 3 of these cases were closed. Sarah Bennett, Braxton Cohen, and Elena Hubbard. Sarah Bennett was found dead on the side of Interstate 40 just outside of Winslow, Arizona. The body was found in a strange position with only slight bruising and no obvious sign of death. The killer left no fingerprints or traces of DNA. A sign was found in the brush near the body that read, "Secretive and Delupy-ish," and it was taken to a possible motive by the Winslow PD. Interviews were carried out with Sarah Bennett's living relatives and friends who knew her closely. None used those words to describe her. She was known to be a bright, cheerful person who would never harm a soul. 2 years later, Mendax, the Night Hunter, confessed to her murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment. Braxton Cohen, April 10th, 1995. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Braxton Cohen was reported missing April 10th, 1995. His body was found the next morning, where it was confirmed that he had been killed the night before. The body was draped over the edge of an industrial trash bin, face down behind a grocery store. The body was discovered by garbage collectors, and although they were questioned, the 2 were never considered suspects. Taped to the outside of the bin was a cardboard sign with the words "obnoxious and violent" on it. The sign was considered a calling card of the Night Hunter. This piece of evidence was used to connect his victims and was eventually used in the trial that put Mendax in prison. Elena Hubbard, September 29th, 1995. Elena Hubbard's body was discovered by a hiker deep in the woods outside of Oklahoma City. The hiker was off the main path following a game trail in order to photograph local wildlife. Instead, he stumbled upon Elena's body. The body was partially dismembered, likely a result of animal scavengers, which made its original position difficult to determine. A sign reading "Savage and Gluttonous" was found nailed to a nearby tree. Evidence suggests that Elena was poisoned and her body was discarded in the woods. After Mendax confessed to Elena's murders in 1996, the case was considered closed. Is it going to have anything on it? Oh gosh, I can't pick it up with my nails. Yeah, anything? No? Okay. Let's check this one. Probably nothing. It's probably more on the shiny stuff, but willing to look. How about this one? No? Might be from another time, or another point. The strange case of the Night Hunter. The man responsible for the 3 horrifying murders that occurred in a 2-year time frame shocked the world when he turned himself in for his crimes. With the recent capture of Herberto Seda, the New York Zodiac Killer, families have been able to sleep easier knowing that 2 notorious serial killers have been put behind bars. The Night Hunter received the alias after referring to himself as such in his self-written poems and letters that he submitted to the local police stations of the areas where his victims were found. It came to much surprise when the Night Hunter voluntarily surrendered himself at the San Diego police station. The announcement was made over the weekend that the murderer had been identified as Bill Mendax from Barstow, California. With no clear reason for why Mendax came forward, we are left wondering why. The public has begun to draw their own conclusions. Perhaps guilt drove him to confession, or the need for self-recognition. Some believe that the police were closing in. At this point, we can only speculate. To understand the mind of the night hunter, we go back to the 1994 of Sarah Bennett in Winslow, Arizona. Bennett was the first known victim of the night hunter. At the time, investigators had no suspects, witnesses, or murder weapon. The only clue was the strange sign found near the body with a cryptic message that investigators had yet to understand the meaning. Without any real leads, it seemed as though her murder would go unsolved. The night hunter made his mark again with the murder of Braxton Cohen in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1995, and Elena Hubbard in Oklahoma City the same year. Signs were left at both crime scenes. Investigators were able to obtain video footage of both Cohen and Hubbard's last moments seen alive. The surveillance footage of Cohen was captured at the time of his murder, but the tape was damaged and the frames that could be recovered gave investigators no lead. On June 4, 1996, Mendax arrived at the Central Division Precinct building in San Diego, California, to confess to the murders. The officers were skeptical as this was not the first time someone tried to take credit for the workings of a serial killer. When interviewed, Mendax was able to provide accurate details, including places of the victims' work, locations where they were killed, and details about the murders that were not disclosed to the public. Mendax was arrested and later sentenced. However, there are still conspiracies floating around that he was not the killer, and the real night hunter is still lurking in the shadows. Mendax has a previous criminal record for assault and violating parole. He is now serving 3 consecutive life sentences at Lompoc Federal Penitentiary in Lompoc, California. Anything here? Anything here? No. But it does have a bite mark of some type. Wire-jawed theft caught. Started with a home invasion and took an unusual turn. After breaking into the home of Allison Bryn while she was out Christmas shopping, the suspect loaded his car with a few choice valuables and then sat down in the kitchen to make a meal. Detective Andrea Feltz had this to say. It was really strange to think that someone would be so comfortable at a crime scene that after robbing the place, they would sit down in the kitchen and make dinner. In the end, I guess we're lucky that they were hungry that night. One of the officers noticed that there was an underripe apple on the table, and it looked like the intruder had tried to bite into it and left the apple on the counter. The officer on the scene pulled a bite mark impression and sent it to the lab. There were no matches, however. The lab technician processing the sample noticed something odd about the bite. There were small lines between the teeth consistent with wire, and it appeared to be some odd form of self-dentistry. To find out more, we turned to dental expert Greg McDavidson. It isn't common practice now, but some dentists in the Old West used to take short pieces of wire and thread them between the teeth right at the gum line and twist the wire to apply pressure to keep a tooth from falling out. We don't do anything like this anymore, of course, but maybe this guy did his own at-home dental work. I bet this eventually gets infected and he has to go to a real dentist. With this information in hand, the police put out an all-points bulletin for local dentists to be on the lookout for a patient coming in with damaged and infected gums or signs of at-home dental work. Alright. The Bureau. Message 0036797. Victim is Braxton Cohen. Letter 1 of 2. Letter was written by the night hunter, sent to Albuquerque police station, collected and filed as evidence. A pond at night, a reflection of thoughts, a peaceful pool of wonder, my silent requiem. Alone in the darkness, nothing but night terrors, like yellow eyes in the night. They watch me, but I am not in danger. I am not afraid. I am a night hunter too. Heart yours. Any tens? Nope. Okay. Elena Hubbard. The moon shines brightly sometimes outside my window. I look up at it with a longing that few would understand. I long to be free, yet why am I in this prison of four walls? Would you put me there if you could? Would you put me in that prison place? Rob me of the feeling of dirt on my feet? Or the shining moon that sometimes shines outside my window? You may be afraid of the things that night exposes, but I do not fear them, because I am a night hunter too. No, nothing. Probably not. It's probably in the shining ones, honestly. This is Braxton Cohen. Oh, so this is the second one of his. The clock is ticking, but can't you find me? The dawn is almost upon you, and yet I remain elusive. I remain free. I rummage through your city like I was the garbage, waiting to be thrown out by those who look down on me. But in the end, it was I who looked down on them, and it was they who ended up in the garbage. Jeez, that's rude. And this is Sarah Bennett. I think she was the first one. The game, I fear, has almost ended. It has circled back upon itself, like I circle back upon myself. Back to the beginning, from the end, and from the end to a new beginning. Wrapped around myself, but not to hide, I wind myself up for the strike. And when and where that strike comes will be up to me and me alone, for I am the night hunter. I need to... Nope, okay. Alrighty. I should probably... I should probably grab a notebook. Maybe. Oh, so there is Carolyn. I think she's the new one, if I remember correctly. Okay. Sorry, I have a person helping me. Ferocious and disrespectful. Oh, my nails glow. That's so cool. Anyway. Nope. Alright. Carolyn Parker, handwritten note found at scene, evidence recovered from victim's left jacket pocket. I fear no rest, no sanctuary here, no terror to call my own, no land on which it's safe to roam. Not safe in bed or secluded cave, not safe at night, although I reign. You think your games still trick me, you think my cunning has run dry. I leap and bound and dance and pounce. You'll never catch me. You'll never even try. Password? No? Okay. This is the second time I caught Carolyn working without gloves while preparing specimens. Heavy metal poisoning is not something to take lightly, and I need her to take the required protective protocols like latex/vinyl gloves more seriously. This will be Carolyn's final warning. If this behavior is repeated, Carolyn's access to laboratory work will continue only under direct supervision by her manager. Let's see. Crime scene report. 1907 or 6, I don't know. Date 10/07/2021. Arkansas River Trail, Little Rock, Arkansas. Carolyn Parker, 38, female. Red, green, tattoo of moon on back, right shoulder. Archivist, home address, position of female. Female was posed on a branch of a tree, lying transversely over a large branch. The body was found in a small park just outside the Edwards National Science Center campus on the Arkansas River Trail, faced as if it was meant to be found by passerby. A small sign was hastily hung with a string on the same branch as the victim's body and was positioned near the victim's head. No murder weapon found at the scene of the crime. No evidence of blunt force trauma or stab wounds. Bite marks on body appear to be from an animal. Exact cause of death undetermined. Oh, we have a few more. Okay. Archivist. Known medical angina. Nitroglycerin. Little Rock police notified husband Stephen Parker of death on 10/07/2021. Green, red hair, 155, 5'8", tattoo of the moon on the back shoulder. Rigor, ES, liver marks, bluish purple, fixed. Marks on wounds. Primordium bruising by lateral wrist, ankles, and bruising to anterior neck extending to the right posterior. Bite marks found on the chest wall, proximal right arm, lateral right thigh, and posterior right lower leg. Single puncture wound detected on left posterior neck. Death consistent with anaphylaxis, awaiting toxicology results. Pending investigation. I hereby declare. Okay. So, partial, and partial. Okay. I can't grab it very well. Oh, okay. What? 24, 13, 16, 47, 29, 15, 30, and 50. What is that? Where's the pass the chance. Poison venom detection. Chemical identification guide. So, is this supposed to match up with this? So, like 24 methylene trichloride, 47, 50 is lead, 16 is hers, 15 is alcohol, 29 is cassoprodol, 30 is benzodiazepine. Probably should go get a notebook. Booklet. Okay, so we have 13, which is gabapentin. We got 15, which is alcohol. 16, which is her medications, triglycerin. 24, which is methanol trichloride. 29, 30, 47, and 50. Okay, 29 is carsoprodol. 30 is benzodiazepine. Zepine. 47. I don't know how to say these names. It's whatever that is. Hydrochloride. 50 is lead. Some of this might be from her work too. Alright. We'll shift that up there for now. Chapter 1, envelope. Do not open until solve objective 1.1. Oh, crap. Wait, what was 1.1? Determine what was exactly used to kill Caroline Parker. Okay. And then we have suspect and witness interviews. So we have Bill's interview. So Merriweather is the investigator. He says, sit down, please. We have a few questions for you. I'm going to get this closer to my mouth so you can hear me. Sit down, please. We have a few questions for you. Mendax, what is it about? I'd like you to take a look at these photos. Why are you showing these to me? Recognize these. Looks like the work of the night hunter to me. Obviously, it can be no such thing. You'd have noticed if I left the building, assuredly. Don't be disrespectful to me. Tell me who might have done something like this. And why do you think I would know that? And why would I tell you if I did? We see the letters you get from your fans. We screen them, you know. So many wannabes out there just trying to impress the great night hunter. And how is that my responsibility? You started all of this, so tell me, how are they replicating your kills? We never released this information to the public, and as far as I know, you never did either. Of course not. No magician ever reveals their methods. Don't be clever. You're no magician, just a murderer. The same chemical you used to kill Miss Bennett and all the others were found in the victim's blood. So, who did you tell? No, I told. Maybe I told. Maybe I didn't. I'm already in jail for life. There's nothing more you can do to me. If you think this is as bad as we can make things for you, you're wrong. If I had my way, you'd be in the chair. But how would you feel about a year of solitary? I will cooperate. Then tell us where you got your chemicals. Tell us where the copycat killer might be getting them. I can't tell you that. Besides, they wouldn't be in business anymore anyway. Did you not hear me? I can put you in solitary for the rest of your life if you don't answer me. I'm sorry. I really can't answer the question. Now, I'd like to be returned to my cell, please. I have nothing left to say to you. We'll be watching you, inmate. So that was with Mendax. Here's some eyewitness testimonies. One from the security guard that discovered the body. I've never seen anything like this before. I was just about to start my shift, and I was walking across the campus to grab a coffee when I saw the body. Poor Miss Parker. I didn't know her well, but she was well liked. I always enjoyed listening to her speak. I didn't touch the body. I know enough to know that that's not what you do. Instead, I called for help, and somebody nearby called 911. I could have left to make the call myself, but I didn't want anyone to think I was running from the scene of the crime. Vera White, 56, gardener. I heard a shout like someone was hurt and ran out to find the source of the racket. I saw the security guard shouting for help and immediately called 911. I didn't dare get close to the scene. I didn't want to see more than I already had. I don't need any images like that in my mind. Peter Wilkson, 43, supervisor. I've worked with Leon a long time, and I know he didn't have anything to do with this, just the wrong guy in the wrong place. I'm glad I wasn't the one to find the body. Carolyn had a long career ahead of her. I spent a fair amount of time at the museum listening to her speak. She was a true talent. We were all out for drinks after her lecture that night. She was killed. It was her birthday that day. Oh, okay. And I was thrilled to be able to give her the news that we were promoting her into a leadership role. She had wanted to head a department for so long. What a terrible thing this all is. It's such a shame that someone as kind-hearted and talented as Caroline can meet such a gruesome and horrifying end like that. Interesting. Interview with Stephen Parker. The following excerpt have been pulled from an interview with Stephen Parker, the victim's husband. Mr. Parker is labeled as a possible suspect. The interview transcript is as follows. I didn't even know she didn't make it back safely until the next morning. Honestly, I didn't check to make sure she did until I got up to shower. Look, I am going to share this, but I don't want you getting the wrong idea. We got into a little bit of fight that night, but nothing serious. It's the kind of thing married couples do, you know. I went to watch her speak at her symposium on the preparation of specimens. A gory subject, honestly, but it was a special night. Not only was she giving this talk on her birthday, but it is the subject she had been wanting to speak on for years. I always hated the taxidermy side of her work, but this talk was interesting and educational. I love seeing her shine up there on such a special night. We went to the museum bar for a drink to calm her post-lecture anxiety, and we both had a few too many. Before I knew it, we were arguing about something petty. I don't even remember what it was. Anyway, I tried to get her to come home, but she asked me to leave her there with her colleagues. We live so close that we always walk to and from the museum. So I went home and slept on the basement couch. She was going to follow me home when she was done. I keep playing that night over and over again. I should have left her. I should never left her there. I could have just waited for her out front and walked her home or something. I will never forgive myself. Okay, let's see here. So she has nitroglycerin already. And the alcohol is normal. I think the lead is normal too. Where's her? Don't need that right now. So she gave a talk on her birthday, so that's 10:06. So she was 38 and 21. So plus 2. So 23. So 83. Where's her? Let's see if I can't get into the website. Okay, cool. So current prescriptions. So there's 4. So the gabapentin. You already know about the alcohol. The nitroglycerin. The benzapine. And this one. So this one and the something hydrochloride and lead. I want to say though, because she was heavy metal poisoning is not taken lightly. I want to say that at least the lead is is, crap, is, part of her job. William Davenport. Helen Parker. Treatment. I want to say that the methanol. I'm gonna scoot this color so because my arms are not. When trichloride right here. I want to say. Oh, it's chloroform. Okay. What is the hydrochloride? What's that? What is it used for? A pesticide, particularly to kill rats. It is also found mixed with quote-unquote street drugs. So that's probably what killed her. Cool, that's correct. Also known chloroform is commonly used as rat poisoning. Okay. So, back to the chapter. Okay, now that we've figured that out, we can open up the first letter. Move that out of the way. Okay. That one's done. Alright. Okay. Is that it? Oh, nope, there's more. Felt it. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Agents, your thorough analysis of the crime scene was well done and have been proven to be invaluable to the investigation. Considering that the same chemicals were used and bite marks were found on each of the victims, the parallels between the Night Hunter killings and the murder of Carolyn Parker are impossible to ignore. I have viewed the bite marks myself and believe that something about them seems incomplete. Enclosed is a copy of the bite mark impression taken from the Carolyn Parker's body. If you can identify the species of animal that left these marks, it may help us determine how it lines up with the murder. Okay. So, we need our handy-dandy booklet again. So these are the... I don't know if you can actually see them very well. Can you see them pretty well? Kinda. Okay. So we have to match up the bite marks. Raccoon. She's where? Arkansas. Maybe a porcupine? Omnivore. Well, it's a herbivore, so it's probably not. Let's see. Is it a squirrel? Might be a squirrel. Red fox. Oh, it might be a night snake. Rear fanged. I don't know. That one matches up fairly well. In Southwest. Yeah, it's probably a carnivore. They're pretty sharp. Maybe a night snake? I already looked at those. The badger. Maybe a badger? I don't know. A raccoon. Wolf. She was up in a tree, so I don't know how. I don't think it was any of those. It's not a field mouse. Maybe a tiger? No. No. Maybe a leopard? But it's not, none of the ones that it would be. Let's see, none? Yeah, correct. Fold the transparency that shows the bite marks. Yep, okay. I came from, a leopard, which is not the scavenging. Back to solutions. Alright, so we just did 1.2. So now we got 1.3, which is find evidence that proves that Bill Mendax is innocent of the night hunter killings. Oh, alright. Okay. Do. Alright. Anything else? Oop. No. Anything? Nope. Yep. Okay. Okay. From the desk of Captain Snow. Agents, the conclusion of your investigation into the bite marks is surprising and leads to more questions regarding how they were left on the victim. The Little Rock Zoo has accounted for all leopards at their facilities. We've requested the local law enforcement to follow up on your findings by questioning exotic animal permit holders in the central Arkansas area, though none are currently known to possess leopards. The forensics report has been received for the bite marks on the previous 3 victims and concludes that those bite marks were not forceful enough to be indicative of an animal attack or scavengers. The possibility that this killing was not conducted by a copycat must be considered. If this is the case, then there's a killer on the loose, and the motive behind Bill Mendax's confession is suspicious and needs to be further questioned so that we may bring the real night hunter to justice. Okie dokie. Oh, and then we get a look at who he is. Interesting. Okay. Let's dive in here, shall we? Alright, so Mendax, William Henry, Bill, or the Night Hunter. Inmate number 236785. Tattoo on chest of a circle inside of a square. San Diego, California. Driver's license, blah, blah, blah. Weapon seized. San Diego, California. Arrest date 06/04/1996. Javier Jones. Juvenile assault and theft. Breaking and entering theft. Assault with a deadly weapon. 3 counts first-degree murder, kidnapping, assault with deadly weapon. 2 counts stalking and harassment. Oh, this is when he was, Dang, he was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison. Okay. Updated mugshot as of 2021. Release date NA, San Diego, California. No option of parole. Okay. The People versus William Henry Mendax. The defendant, William Bill Mendax of San Diego, California, has been charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of stalking, and 2 counts of harassment. The court has examined the evidence and witnessed the confession of Mr. William Bill Mendax. In light of this confession, the defense has agreed to a plea, and the defendant has been decided guilty on all counts. The defendant will serve 3 consecutive life sentences. Okay. Let's see. Found in jail cell. Bill, I know you don't know me, but you've inspired me so much. I have your poetry posted on my wall. Those letters you wrote to the police were an inspiration to me. I imagine you have a lot of time to yourself, so I was hoping you would write me back. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. I'm getting bullied every day, and sometimes I just want to show them what happens when you bully someone too much. Have you ever been bullied? Is that why you did what you did? Is that why you killed those people? I sometimes imagine what it must be like. Bill, I don't know why you did what you did. I've just read it in the newspaper. Why, Bill? Why? Where's that, Is that over here? It has his handwriting on it. Or the Night Stalker's handwriting on it, at the very least. It's the bite marks. Oh no, did I lose it? Nope, I put it behind me. They wrote to him. That might be something. Hey Bill, it's Christmas and we miss you, so I don't write as much as I should, but I do think of you often. I hope they are treating you well. Please don't forget about us. We won't forget about you. Bill, I saw your picture on TV and I was struck by how handsome you are. I find myself dreaming about your eyes. They are the eyes of a protector, not a murderer. I can't help but to admit I think I'm falling in love with you. Please say you will return this letter and get to know me. I've written many prisoners over the years, but seeing you in the news was the first time I felt an instant connection with somebody. Bill. Oh, here's another one. Bill, I'm excited to tell you that I've met someone new. I don't want to jinx it, but I know this time is different. I have ruined things with the one before, but I have more control now. She understands me, she understands my friends, and she wants to protect them just like I do. I'm enjoying this feeling, and I will try to make it last as long as possible, maybe forever. Wish me luck. I know you'd approve. His outgoing mail section. I appreciate the postcards. The pictures are pretty, and looking at them is like taking little mental vacations, but you shouldn't be going back to those places. The pretty pictures aren't worth the risk. Please know that I am comfortable in here. I always have been. Be kind to the woman you have met, know your limits, and don't get too close to someone you aren't able to take care of. Some mistakes can't be fixed. Whoever's writing him, I think, is the person. Yeah, I think the person is still out. And they're writing them letters. The prison letters are the reason why he's innocent. Review the outgoing prison letter. Use the night hunter's writing sample to the outgoing prison letter by Bill to notice that some of the letters don't specifically match. See the 2 letters to Bill signed. Yours do match. Yeah, here's a letter from Captain Snow before. Okay, cool. So we solved. chapter 1. Agents. This is exactly what we were afraid of, a false confession. If they had done their duty back in the 1990s instead of accepting the confession and closing all the cases, maybe Carolyn Parker wouldn't have lost her life. It just leaves me to wonder why an innocent man would spend 25 years in jail taking credit for crimes he didn't commit. How could life really have been that bad for him on the outside? We can think about that later. The process to exonerate Bill will start in a few weeks. In the meantime, we have more pressing matter to attend to. The night hunter is still out there, and he appears to have struck again. Good job analyzing this case today, but we have 0 leads and 0 suspects, and we aren't any closer to knowing who the real night hunter is. If he is active again, it's only a matter of time until he finds another victim. I think it's time to go back and look at the original 3 murders. I'm going to pull up all of the old night hunter cases and send them to you. I'm giving you the priority access to the case files. I will warn you that the details are gruesome and some of the images are difficult to get out of your head. But if we can't solve today's murder, maybe we can look back at these killings and identify a proper suspect. Okie dokie. Well, I think I'm gonna leave that here. I'll probably do a chapter a week. I think that's kind of a good pace. I'm doing it by myself, so yeah. With all that being said, thank you all so very much for being here. I do deeply appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. I hope you all had a fun time. Bye.